Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video about political systems in books. Now, I've got a few disclaimers before we start. Feel free to just skip past this if you want to, but here we are. So, first of all, a lot of books are political, but not a lot of them have clear political systems that fit into the basic molds that I'm going to be talking about. So that's probably why I've left out quite a lot of political books, but they just don't have clear political systems. Two, I haven't made a video about politics before. I am very interested in politics, but I don't have any qualifications or anything. So that says two things. First of all, I've tried to research things well, just from my general knowledge and the internet. But if I get things wrong, I'm sorry. Please leave them in the comments what I got wrong, because I would like to know. Educate me. Second of all, because I am not an expert, I've started quite basic. So these are quite basic political systems. So just bear with me on that. I am interested in doing some more political videos, not necessarily around books. So if you're interested in that, I'm thinking of maybe doing one a month, because this is a booktube channel. But anyway, so first of all, quite a basic one, democracies. So the definition of democracy is a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of the state, typically through elected representatives. So basically the people elect their leaders fairly. So some democratic countries, I'm sure your country is democratic, hopefully. The UK, USA, New Zealand, Canada, kind of thing. So onto some books that have democracies. So number one is Harry Potter, the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. The Minister of Magic is elected democratically. However, later in the series, the Minister of Magic becomes increasingly controlling. So it is democratic the way Ministers of Magic are elected. I think so. I've gone through like some Harry Potter wikis and stuff, and just from my own knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's democratic, but again, I'm not entirely sure. Increasingly, they go on to be increasingly controlling, so then the line gets a little bit blurred on, the Ministry of Magic is just trying to control their people and what they consume and what they know, so that's something to bear in mind. Second book is the Renegades series by Marissa Meyer. Now, actually, just before I say this, and again, I'm not quite sure on this, interestingly enough, the democracy one, apart from, just books set in modern day, set in like countries like the UK and USA, but I didn't want to do that. It's very hard to find books that have democracies, like fantasy series, or, it's usually a dystopia where everything's bad. So that's just a point. So second one, Renegade series by Marissa Meyer. Now, there's not a ton of information on whether this is technically a democracy, but the people seem happy with the system. The renegades are very sort of fair people, and so I assume it's some sort of democracy. But this was 100% the most difficult system for books. So if you know any fantasy series that have democracies or anything that aren't corrupt, let me know. Second one is monarchies. So the definition is a form of government with a monarch at the head. A monarch is a sovereign head of state, especially a king, queen, or emperor. Monarchies are typically hereditary. So countries that have monarchies: the UK, Andorra, Spain, Japan, Thailand, and these have varying degrees of power over their government, so it's not necessarily that they rule the country like in the UK, it's more like a head of state sort of thing. But some of these countries do have monarchs that rule. So some books that have monarchies. This was by far the easiest because there are so many books that have kings and queens, and I think it's quite a basic system and it's quite easy. So The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, Three Dark Crowns series by Kendall Blake, and Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes, which is an interesting dual monarchy, like the Red Queen, White Queen situation. I think monarchies, they tend to be, especially in books, quite corrupt, either quite corrupt, or just the most easy sort of default system if it's not really a political book but they want to play with sort of senses of power and all that kind of thing. I think it sort of goes just into monarchy. That's sort of the route that authors tend to go to, and it is very easy to understand, and there are some quite interesting power dynamics that happen with monarchies. So I get it. The third and final political system is actually two, sorry about this, but authoritarian and totalitarian regimes. So the definition, so authoritarianism is an enforcement or advocacy of strict obedience to authority at the expense of personal freedom. Totalitarianism is a system of government that is centralised and dictatorial and requires complete subservience to the state. Basically, a person or group of people that aren't freely elected by their citizens. So countries that have totalitarian or authoritarian political systems are China, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. So, books that have authoritarian and totalitarian governance systems. So first of all, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins is a typical totalitarian regime. President Snow expects subservience and doesn't promote free speech. He's all about controlling everyone and controlling what media they consume, and all about controlling like their jobs, their food sources, everything is controlled. And again, that creates some really interesting situations when they start to rebel against totalitarian regime, and it's interesting. The second one is His Dark Materials, so by Philip Pullman, so Northern Lights, Fatal Knife, The Atma Spyglass. So the magisterium, which is the sort of governing system, seeks to control their citizens. Free speech is frowned upon, and shown by the cover-up of the discovery of dust. So that's sort of the main central plot of all of the books is dust, and some scientists discovered it, and the magisterium doesn't really want people to know about it. So just one final thing that I want to mention is political books that don't fit the systems. I only have one book that I really wanted to include, but I just couldn't see where I could put it, which is Scythe. Scythe has so much interesting politics in the book. First of all, was the Thunderhead democratically elected? The Thunderhead is the sort of overarching ruler of the world, basically, but it's a machine, it's a computer program. But people were happy with the Thunderhead. People seem good with it. So if the Thunderhead was democratically elected, it's still democratic, seeing as the Thunderhead's term is so long, because it's been hundreds of years. I couldn't quite figure out how Scythes are elected, but I don't think they are. I think they're just sort of chosen. I haven't read the first book in quite a long time, so I can't really remember how like younger Scythes are sort of taken in. I think Scythes just choose them, and it's a self-governing system which isn't really democratic. But yeah, so that's the video. Again, it was quite basic. There wasn't a whole lot in there, but this is just the start of like all the political videos that I want to do, and I thought I'd start off easy. So, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow my Instagram. Thank you for watching, and bye!